Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news. And we've got a lot to talk about as we always do. But before that, please do smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And get your comments as always into the comment section below. Very interactive show as always. But look, like we said, as anyone who's been watching YouTube can see on the screen, the main talking point tonight that we're going to talk about is Karim Benzema. And his availability and, you know, the likelihood of somebody like Manchester United actually getting him on a 6-month loan deal. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about other options that we've got in relation to a centre forward that Manchester United are starting to be linked with more and more. And that doesn't happen unless there is concrete evidence there. I want to talk about Saudi Arabia has got an awful lot to do with this transfer talk show because not only are we, talking about Benzema potentially leaving Saudi Arabia, we're also talking about Saudi Arabia coming and taking some of the Manchester United players, a centre midfielder and a right back. So we'll talk about that as well. And we're also going to talk about Mason Greenwood and some interest that's been shown about him from one of the biggest European clubs. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And of course, anything that you want to discuss, guys, get your thoughts and comments into the comment section. Smash a like on the video, hit subscribe if you're new, and we'll jump straight into it. But look, like I said, guys, we're going to start with Karim Benzema and the availability of him. Let me just switch over here. Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal are on alert as Benzema asks to leave Al Ittihad. So Al Ittihad striker Karim Benzema has reportedly told the Saudi Pro League club he wants to leave. According to AFP news agency, the 36-year-old feels under pressure in the Middle East and wants to leave the club at least temporarily. Benzema was part of the 2023 summer exodus that saw a host of players leave Europe for the Gulf state, enticed by ludicrous salaries. However, the strategy has not been a complete win for the Saudi League, with several players itching for a return to European football, including Benzema. Multiple European clubs have Benzema, who has bagged 12 goals and 5 assists in 20 appearances, on their transfer radar list. They include Arsenal, who need to add firepower to their front line as they look to reinsert themselves into the Premier League title race. Manchester United have also been linked with a move for the France international. The Red Devils are in the market for a striker to provide competition for 75 million, signing Rasmus Højlund. So, yeah, and of course, Chelsea are looking at a striker as well. Now, look, Karim Benzema wants out of Saudi Arabia. At the bare minimum, he wants out temporarily. Okay, now, if we're talking about Karim Benzema wanting out on a permanent basis, because we know Manchester United are in the market for, a striker. We know it's more than likely going to be a loan deal that we need to be doing because the money is not there, so on and so forth. However, let me throw this to you, and I might do a little poll on YouTube here. Anybody on TikTok, if you want to get involved in the poll, get over to YouTube. We are live over there now as well. Link is on my homepage. Would you do... So, there we go. There's the poll. And let me know what you guys think. Would you buy Benzema is the question we're going to do in the poll tonight. And we'll let it run for a few minutes. Anybody that's new coming in over to YouTube can tell us what they think. But if Benzema is available, now we have seen Jordan Henderson as a prime example. His contract has been terminated in Saudi Arabia, and he has been allowed to leave and join Ajax for free, so on and so forth. And, basically he forwent his wages or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Now, if we were in a similar bracket to that with Karim Benzema, I don't think it would be a bad idea for Manchester United to go for him. I really don't. If it's a short-term deal, maybe a 1-year contract with the option of a further year on some decent wages. Now, I'm talking if we could potentially sign him, not just get him on loan. And I think it would be a really shrewd signing by Manchester United. I really do. Benzema and Rasmus Højlund, old and young. one learning from the other. And I think I just think it would take a lot of the pressure off of Manchester United having to sign a striker alongside Rasmus Højlund. I think it would give us a bit of breathing space where if we did sign him maybe on, let's say, an 18-month contract, if he did leave in this January transfer window, I think it would take a lot of the pressure off of us to actually sign a striker in the summer for massive money, and would allow us to maybe concentrate on a centre back, a centre midfielder, a right back, if that's what we're going to be going into the market for as well. So I don't think it's the strangest thing in the world if Karim Benzema was to leave Saudi Arabia on a permanent basis. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world that Manchester United actually show a bit of interest in him. I really don't. And I think, if it wasn't Manchester United, let's say it was Arsenal or it was Chelsea, whoever it may be. Paul is in the chat. I'll read your comments now in a second. I'm sure he thinks he's going to sign for Chelsea. I don't think it would be a bad idea for any club, because you're getting a vastly experienced player. And if we're looking at the likes of Chelsea already, they've already got a striker in there in the likes of Nkunku, and, Jackson is there as well. This guy would just add a little bit of experience to the squad and allow, some of the younger strikers to learn from the best, basically. And that's quite fitting for Manchester United as well. It really is. Let's see who have we got in the chat anyway. Niall is in. Good to see you. Mohammed is there as well. Paul says Benzema will go to Chelsea in the summer. Niall says if it was even in the slightest bit possible, I wouldn't see him coming to United over Arsenal, unfortunately. Danny says it would be great if United could get Benzema on a 6-month loan. Only problem is his wages. Can we offload him? But if it helps Rasmus, then what a player to learn off of and look up to. Well, look, the reason we're talking Benzema here is, and it's all very hypothetical. I think if it is a loan deal, I don't see how anybody can afford a loan deal for Benzema unless, Saudi Arabian, his club, Al Ittihad, decide to pay basically 95% of his wages, because he's on astronomical money there. I think if he came to United and we paid 10% of his wages, he'd be the most expensive player we have at the club in terms of our outgoings. And I think that would be similar with Chelsea, Arsenal, so on and so forth. And I think that's where Benzema is caught between a rock and a hard place. I don't think he can get out of Saudi Arabia on a loan deal because his wages are so high. And Saudi Arabia would not be willing to allow him to leave, and continue to pay his money. It just wouldn't make sense from their standpoint either. So, I think it is. I think it's a strange one. I think if Benzema is to leave, I wouldn't be surprised that his contract gets terminated, similar to what we've seen with Jordan Henderson, who just wants to get out. And yeah, I think, is he going to want to sign for a Champions League club? That would be the ideal scenario, but he's also, what is he, 37? Is he 36 years of age, nearly 37? I don't think that would be top of his priority list. I really don't. I think he would be great for United. Paul says, you heard it here first. Benzema will go to Chelsea till the summer. Then Victor Osimhen arrives, fingers crossed. Yeah, and then you'll be relegated to the 4th tier after you break every financial fair play regulation in the world after signing Victor Osimhen. Chris is in. Good to see you, Chris. Aaron says, a great player, but still, how often have we done this kind of deal? I understand, Aaron, and it's a very valid point. But I think the difference this time around in terms of signing an older striker is when we signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we signed him as our main striker. Similarly with Edison Cavani, this time around, we've got a 20-year-old that is going to be here long term. And I think this is just going to be, a different strategic signing, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be signing Karim Benzema to be our number one striker and play 35 games a season. That's not what we're signing him for. We're going to be signing him to be a rotation player in and out with Rasmus Højlund, so on and so forth. And I think that does make a huge difference. Chris says Benzema will want to go to a Champions League team. Maybe so. And Paul says, would Real Madrid take him back? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. They don't really have that out and out number 9 anymore, don't they not? But I don't know. Danny says, we don't have any money to spend. Plus, God knows how much he would cost to buy fully. Well, if we look at Jordan Henderson, he got his contract terminated, so there was no transfer fee involved. Now, this is all just, hypothetical, and what ifs in relation to Benzema. But, I think it would be a good option if something similar to Jordan Henderson happened. I think United should really go for him. Chris says, Romano said it was impossible for a European team to do a loan deal. Romano said they were trying to sell him to another Saudi club. Okay, interesting. All right. Rumor is he doesn't get along with Ronaldo. All right. Okay. Paul says, we spend what we want, only Everton gets punished. Yeah, that sounds about right, Paul. All right. Look, let's move it on, guys, and talk about, I suppose, not incomings to Manchester United, but potential outgoings. And we're going to keep the topic firmly fixed on Saudi Arabia. And we've had some updates today. And basically what we're seeing is that Saudi Arabia are going to be pretty damn interested in Manchester United players, and especially when it comes to these two. So this is coming from Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. He said Al Nassr are lining up an audacious bid for Casemiro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United are open to selling Casemiro this summer if they can recoup a chunk of the 70 million they paid for him. And obviously then we've heard other reports suggesting that Al Nassr are coming in for Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. They are prepared to table a bid for the Manchester United right back, as they are looking for a right back themselves. Mike McGrath in the Telegraph reveals Al Nassr are keen to strengthen their squad for the second half of the season. So Wan-Bissaka, according to this report, is going to be a January offer. Now, Manchester United have been quite firm. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's agents held further talks with Manchester United earlier this month, but the outcome was not positive. However, United, according to TalkSport, have no plans to let Aaron Wan-Bissaka leave this month, okay, which is, very important. So Al Nassr are going to be in for at least one of Manchester United's players. It looks like, potentially Aaron Wan-Bissaka this month. I can't see us allowing him to leave. I really can't. We're not going to be able to get a deal over the line to get a replacement for Wan-Bissaka in, what have we got, 8 days now between now and the end of the transfer window. I think Wan-Bissaka and Casemiro both stay until the summer, but I would not be surprised if we're open to offers for them in the summer. And if you're talking, 50 million for Casemiro, given the age that he is, then it's something you really do have to consider if we can get a bid of, if you're talking 50 million or whatever it may be. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, probably on the lower end, you'd probably be talking anywhere between 30 and 40 million for him. Given what we paid for him, we paid 50 million for him a few years back. And I think we probably overpaid for him as well. So, look, it's going to be interesting to see what Manchester United do. It's going to be, more than anything else, I think it's quite clear that it's going to be a very, very, very busy summer transfer window for Manchester United, if reports are to be, believed on who's coming and who's going, so on and so forth. Let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Chris says, disgrace that the Glazers put all the charges onto United for selling 25%. Yeah, we were talking about that last week. Chris says, Dan Gore, I know where this is going. Dan Gore, star striker, going to Port Vale. Yeah, I messed up this morning on the morning news show. I was talking about Dan Gore being a potential backup to Rasmus Højlund as a striker, even though he's a CDM. I completely mixed him up, him and Joe Hugel. Yeah, so that's my bad. Us pros, we can't always get it right, can we? What that reminds me as well, guys. Anybody who's interested in getting me their match previews for the Newport game in the FA Cup on Sunday, you can start getting them to me now. I think Aaron has already sent me one. I've received already. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, we do a match build-up now before every game, where basically it allows you to get involved in the channel. Send me your 60 seconds, 90 seconds match build-up video, where you give me maybe your predicted 11, what you want to see, and a score prediction. I'll put them all together, and we upload them an hour or two before the game as just a long video. It's just kind of a way of getting people, excited for the match and stuff. So if you're interested in doing that, please get your match preview videos to me. Send them by email if at all possible to unitedcommunitychannel@outlook.com. Just take your phone, put it in landscape like that, and just start recording for 60 seconds and send them to me. And we'll put them all together, and we'll get the match build up going. We've had some good positive feedback on it so far. Paul says, seen something about teams in Saudi looking for Sancho and Anthony. Was that true? It basically what it was, Paul. We spoke about it last night that United have offered them to Saudi Arabian clubs 50 million each. And now I think United are being a bit ambitious with a 50 million valuation on Anthony, whatever about Jadon Sancho. But that would be more so for the summertime, regardless. Niall says, not only two we could do with leaving, though, Anthony and Martial. Well, Martial will be gone in the summer, bare minimum. I think Anthony, by all accounts, we mentioned it again on the morning news show this morning, that United are going to be pretty much listening to offers for Anthony. We spoke about it yesterday, didn't we? That, that Dan Ashworth potentially coming in, and the likes of Omar Barada now as the new director of or the new CEO. Basically, you're allowed 1 to 2 seasons to prove your worth, and if you don't, then it's time for you to be moved on. And Anthony has had 2 seasons now, so Manchester United, by all accounts, are going to be looking are going to be open to offers for him in the summer. Which is really interesting. I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm just in the background here. I'm trying to get the EFL game here. Just give me 1 sec. There we go. Lovely. So yeah, I mean, Chelsea are 1-0 up actually, so 1-1 on aggregate. So yeah, Danny says, I like United to keep Casemiro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Casemiro, a player like him, can't be replaced. As for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he is a good player, but if Casemiro and Aaron Wan-Bissaka want to leave, we should respect their decision. Well, I agree with you in some ways, Danny, but I don't agree that Casemiro is a player that can't be replaced, because he left Real Madrid. And they've got Bellingham now, you know what I mean? So he certainly can be replaced. It's all about who we can replace him with, and I think that's the most important part of that. Thought it was 50 million for both, 50 million each, Aaron. Yeah, so 100 million in total. United are looking for. Jared is in. He says, "Even Jack, do you think Benzema would turn into a Cavani, where we get him on loan, then buy on a permanent deal?" Maybe so, Jared. Look, I would be open to it. I think it would be a great bit of experience you would be putting into your squad. And like I said, it's not like old signings like Cavani, like Ibrahimovic, where they're coming in as the main striker. He would be coming in, pretty much as a backup to Rasmus Højlund, basically, which sounds quite strange. Niall says 50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka wasn't bad. He served as well, and if we get 30 million for him, it was good business. Yeah, I agree. I think we overpaid for him at the time. 50 million when we got him was an awful lot of money for a fullback. But like I said, if we can recoup 30 million, then 20 million for what he's given us, that. Oh, excuse me. That night in Paris where he had Mbappe in his pocket was worth, 20 million alone. Bonzer says, what do you think of Binder finally getting a shot in goal? Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play, Bonzer, more than anything else. I mean, I think, I won't say hard done by, but I'm sure he would have been hoping to have played more minutes already this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's actually got to offer. And, I think if we can get a full complement of players back and, get us on a bit of a roll, then I'm looking forward to the second half of the season, and I think Ten Hag deserves. I think Ten Hag deserves, I would say, a minimum another 12 months. I would say he deserves 12 months under the Jim Radcliffe umbrella and structure that's going to be put in place before we can really judge him on what he can do. Because, a lot of people are have got sharp memories, and slating the back off of Ten Hag now and, saying he's this and that and the other and forgetting what he done last season, uh, and how happy he made all of us last season. So look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So yeah, let's move it on, guys. I want to talk quickly then as well about the striker. We'll do another about 10 minutes or so. I've got to log off early today. And I'll let you go and watch Chelsea and Middlesbrough. But I want to talk about the striker options as well. Obviously, we've been talking about Benzema, and a player we've been talking about an awful lot over the last few days is Choupo-Moting. Manchester United, according to Jack Talbot, who's the chief football correspondent for the Times and the Guardian, he says Manchester United are in talks with Bayern Munich to sign Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting on a 6-month loan deal. United want to complete the signing of a loan striker before the transfer deadline. Look, these reports were coming out over the last few days. We're aware of them. We know what's going on. And like we've said previously, the more reports come out, the more it legitimizes the interest from one club to another. I think United are going to go for him. I think we'll more than likely sign him. He is open to a move to Manchester United. He does want to sign, come on loan to United because he's not getting game time at Bayern Munich. He probably will get a little bit more game time at United, but I still think he will be a backup option. So yeah, it does look like we're going to be bringing in a striker by the end of the January transfer window. And yeah, look, it's needed, really, isn't it? Now, look, I think if this guy was to become available in the next few days, would that change the whole trajectory of going for Choupo-Moting? I don't know. I really don't. I think the finances have to be right. And I think it's quite clear that what Jim Radcliffe and Ineos are doing is, they're after coming in mid-season now. They're coming in mid-season. They're going to get to the end of the season and assess everything and go, all right, well, 1st of June, this is, us. We're going to start making moves, player-wise and so on and so forth. And I think that's why we're talking about not signing anybody permanently in the January transfer window, is because they're keeping as much money on ice as possible for a big, big summer, because they're going to want to make a big impression coming in as well. There would be nothing that would please fans more than, a brilliant summer transfer window and Manchester United having, a really, really, improved league campaign next year. And that would make fans happy, and that would, gravitate fans and warm fans to Jim Radcliffe. And that's what they want. Let's not get it right, or let's not get it wrong here. They want to be on the fan side, which is great to see. Now, I'm sure they are going to make an awful lot of decisions, however long their tenure lasts, that maybe fans might not agree with, but that's okay. As long as they're putting the club first, and they're doing what they think is right, in terms of football, then that's all we can ask for as fans. So, yeah, we're not going to sign anybody permanently in January, but I think we're in for a very, very, very busy summer. And the transfer talk shows are going to be coming thick and fast. I would love for us to be, in a position where we have a really good second half of this season and we maybe just, claw our way into the top 4. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's better teams there than us at the moment. Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Villa, Spurs, I think are all better than us. I think we'll probably end up finishing 6th, I would say, and getting Europa League. But, by all accounts, we're being very strategic in who we sign anyway. we're not going out to sign Galacticos in the summer transfer window. So I think the fact that we're not in the Champions League is maybe not going to make a massive difference, And when you're looking at buying in young players, even, who I want to talk about now, Fabrizio Romano has been talking about him again. It's Matthijs de Ligt, that there is a real opportunity for Manchester United to sign him in the summer. If you're signing these types of players, he's 24 years of age. Every player wants to play in the Champions League, but if you're buying into the system and the philosophy and the project itself, then maybe 1 year in the Europa League, a lot of these players won't be too disappointed with. But obviously, Champions League garners the better players. Of course it does. But we'll talk about this article while we're on it, guys, before we finish up. Despite previous remarks made by Thomas Tuchel, Fabrizio Romano has predicted that Bayern Munich defender Matthijs de Ligt will leave the Bundesliga team. After arriving from Juventus, de Ligt is now the third choice centre-back for the Bavarians since the arrival of Kim Min-jae. The Netherlands international has thus been strongly linked with a move in recent weeks, with Manchester United and Arsenal being considered the front runners in the battle to capture him. Prior to de Ligt's transfer to Bayern, Chelsea were also interested in signing him. However, after signing Wesley Fofana and Axel Disasi, rumours of a Chelsea move had cooled. According to Thomas Tuchel, he is still an important player at the Allianz Arena. As per Football.London, the former manager of PSG and Chelsea recently stated, "We're planning with Matthijs, top player and a top guy." Romano has said to the United stand, "I think de Ligt could be on the move. There could be many clubs in the race. Let's wait for United to appoint a director of football and see where they go." But yeah, again, we go back to what we've been saying recently. United do need a centre-back in the summer, one minimum. And I think this guy fits the bill. Bayern Munich, I think, paid 50 million for him. Was it 50, 55 million? Same kind of money we paid for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So if they're going to get rid of him after, 18 months, 2 years, whatever it may be, then I think we could get him for in around the same price. I really do. Let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Danny says, "I know a lot of United fans don't want him, but at least another striker, which will bring help for Rasmus, which is great. Let's hope we can get him before the window closes." Aaron says, "Hopefully this window is our last bad window. Beware of de Ligt," says Chris. Yeah, Chris is not a fan of de Ligt, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I think he's better than everyone we've got, bar Varane and Martinez. And Varane is getting old. But look, anyway, Danny says, "I'm hoping we can get de Ligt in the summer. De Ligt and Martinez at the back would be amazing." I would be happy with that. Something's not right. Failed at Juve, failed at Bayern. Yeah, maybe so, but maybe you just need the right environment. He succeeded under the man to my left. He succeeded under Erik ten Hag. Now, not saying that he could do that again, because we've seen, we've seen Van de Beek basically do nothing since ten Hag came in. Chelsea have gone 2-0 up. They're 2-1 now in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. So yeah, look, it's not a foregone conclusion, but I mean, he's certainly an upgrade on what we've got. Maguire out and de Ligt in, says Kieran. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Jared says, I have no idea why Chelsea are linked with him. They already have about 50 defenders in the door in the last 2 windows. They're going to have to sell. They really are, when it comes to financial fair play. When is Shaw supposed to return? Yes, so some good news, guys. Shaw and Maguire were seen training with the team today, back full training. So it does look like they're potentially going to be available for the game on the weekend. Whether they'll be risked against Newport away, I'm not too sure. But it does look like they will return, at least for the Wolves game next week, which is good news. Really good news. But yeah, I'll be doing my match preview for it. It will be uploaded on Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be doing that on Saturday. And like I said, guys, anybody who hasn't got involved yet and who would like to get involved in our match build-up videos, please do send us your 60-second match preview clips. Give us your team selection, your score predictions, what you want to see, so on and so forth. If you can get them to me before Saturday night, that would be great. I'll put them all together then Sunday morning, and we upload our match build-up video then, an hour or two before the game. Go and check out some of the old ones. It's only, I think, the third one we've done. So, I want to get more and more videos in each week, and we can make the videos better and longer and so on and so forth. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please do smash a like on the video on your way out if you haven't done so already. Like I said, helps out the channel an awful lot. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like I said, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. I think we're about 90 off of it, I think, which is brilliant. And look, we're on the road to 10,000 before the end of the season. Whether we can do that or not is up to you. Hit subscribe if you can. Helps us out an awful lot. I'll be back again tomorrow night, guys, from the same time. Actually, no, sorry. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We do our morning news shows now every morning at 10 a.m. They're uploaded at 10 as a pre-recording. They're not live, but make sure you're checking them out every day. And throw a couple of comments in underneath. Hit the thumbs up button on it as well. It really does help out the channel an awful lot. But yeah, DJ says closing in on that 7K. Amazing. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. And you're the supporter, so I really do appreciate it as always. But guys, look, I'll leave it there. Smash a like on the video, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Have a great evening, and talk to you soon. Take it easy. Good luck.